Mm-hmm. Bear with me 1 second, Israel. Get right in. All right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Brakathum. Yahweh Shema Thum Bashem Yahshua. Priest and Officer 1000 Yadai. This is the Thursday night history class. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman. Why is our history important? Why? I'll explain it to you. Because blacks and Latinos and so-called First Nation men and women, we don't understand, our identity. We don't know who we are, and we can't comprehend, the fact that we really are the Israelites of antiquity. That black man and Latino and First Nation man and woman, that our history is far greater and vast than what the oppressor would want us to believe, man. Now, man, it's the Thursday night history class. We started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of Joni Yohanovitz, now at the Isupk. You know what I mean? You're not in the truth. You got to understand that we have been lied to as black people and Latino people. We've been taught to believe, our history just begins with slavery. You know what I mean? That we're nothing more than niggas, spicks, and savages when we are far greater than those labels that were placed on our people. And I will say this, a lot of our people are starting to get game to it, man. Get hip to it and realize, man, that we are not so-called Africans, that we are not Spaniards, conquistadors. You know what I mean? That we are greater than that we are God's chosen people, man. And it's time for us to understand just how special we are. And if every black and Latino and First Nation man and woman understood what I'm about to pull right now, our communities, man, and the things that go on will be a whole lot better. And I'm going to explain why, man. Let me get Deuteronomy 7:6. Also, if y'all have any questions, right, make sure you type them in. I'll be answering y'all questions tonight. First, we're going to start with the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6, man. The thing is, we got to realize, as the Lord's chosen people, that they love to talk down on us. They make it seem like that we ain't nothing. You know what I mean? That we ain't never going to amount to anything, that, we're just the slaves of America, when we are far greater than that, black man, Latino man, and woman. Like, we really sell ourselves short no matter where we are because we don't have the understanding of this Bible. We don't know our history. We don't understand who we really are. And the scripture is about to explain it right here. Read what you got.
Oh, God. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. Thou art an holy people.
The Lord said, for thou art a holy people. Now, to understand, man, you got to understand, what does it mean to be holy? What does holy mean? I'll tell you what it's not. Holy ain't your silly mama or auntie with that crazy feathered hat on in church. Your pastor with the white robe and gown on is not holy. That's right. Creflo Dollar is not holy. Neither is Joel Osteen. He's a thief, Barzo. He's a real mafioso, a real gangster, real Frank Lucas. We're going to get into him in a second. Holy means to be separate. First, you got to understand that. The Lord is saying, for thou art a separate people, man. Read on.
From God. Holy people unto the Lord thy God.
We separate unto the Lord thy God. Meaning we are separate unto our God. He ain't everybody's God. He ain't everybody's father, but he's our father, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. He's our God, and he's telling us that we are separate unto him. So who does that disqualify? The problem is that our people like to make excuses to try to give our salvation to every nation under the sun. Today, my topic is going to be, who is salvation for? You know what I mean? Who is salvation for? I'm going to go into that as well, and I'm going to break down, you know what I mean? Can the Gentiles receive salvation? I'm going to go into that as well. Now, the Lord is telling us, man, for thou art a holy people. For we are a separate people, man, unto the Lord thy God, meaning we separate unto the Most High. Meaning this, that disqualifies every nation of people right there if you're not black, Latino, or First Nation. Because we're in reality, black man, Latino man, First Nation man, and woman, we are one people, man. We are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, God's chosen people. The Lord chose us to be separate unto himself. Read on.
The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
The Lord chose us to be a special people. What does it mean to be special? Who's more special than that black man and Latino man and woman, man? That's the thing, man. We got to realize ain't nothing special about these other nations. Ain't nothing great about them. Ain't nothing special about them. And I'm gonna be honest, man. It's not that we jump the highest. It's not because we're the best boxers, the best football and basketball players, because we're the smartest, you know what I mean, and the fastest. It's because our God chose us. That's what makes us the salt of the earth that Christ was talking about, man. Because we were chosen by the Most High. We are the salt of the earth, man. It's because the Lord chose that Latino man and woman, that First Nation man and woman, that black man and woman, man. That's what makes us, you know what I mean, special, because our God chose us to be special. And you got to feel that. And if you understood that every other black and Latino and First Nation man and woman is special, you know what that eliminates, man? That eliminates us harming one another, us aborting our babies, murdering our brothers, man, lying to one another, just being unruly to each other, man. And we understood just how special we are to each other, black man, Latino man and woman, and more importantly, how special we are to the Most High. The Most High did not intend us, you know what I mean, to be wicked, to be out here, you know what I mean, committing these abominations, celebrating Christmas, celebrating these other holidays, you know what I mean, marrying these heathens, man, being drug addicts and junkies. That's not how the Lord intended it, man. You know what I mean? That's why it's important for us to realize who we are. For the Lord chose us to be a special people. Read on.
Unto himself.
Unto himself, man. Lord chose us to be special unto himself. And it goes to show you, man, because a lot of our people act like the Most High is just their personal genie in the bottle. What do I mean by that? Like the Lord has got to abide by all your rules, by the restrictions you want to put on God. Let me explain something to y'all. The Lord can do whatever the hell he wants to do. Let's first understand that. The Lord, the Most High, Yahweh chose us to be special, man. Now, let's say you got a special pair of shoes that you like to wear. You might like to wear your phone posits, I don't know, over your Jordan 3s or Jordan 7s. Some of y'all got a couple dollars bars on. Y'all like y'all Balenciagas over your Gucci's. Ain't nothing wrong with that, because those shoes are special to you. Some of y'all even got special children, man. Not the special, you know what I mean, like special needs. But you may have a favorite child that you have, but we're the favorite child of the Most High. We're the child that the Lord chose, man, to be special unto him. Meaning that out of all these people on this earth, the Lord chose us to be his, man. He chose us to be special unto himself. There ain't no equality amongst us and these other nations, man. And that's the problem, man. We seek equality, seek to be on the same one accord with the oppressor. But the Lord said, man, who can make straight, which I have made crooked? We got to understand this oppressor is a wicked bastard, man. He crooked by nature, by design. But we were chosen to be special unto the Lord. Read on.
God. Above all people.
Above a little bit of people.
Above all people.
Above the oppressor.
Above all people.
The Lord chose us to be above all people. Gotta understand that. Like, we sell ourselves short, you know what I mean, trying to march. And this is what I never understood, man. We spend so much time to get the oppressor to love us, to like us, to accept us. The hell with the oppressor. The hell with the African. The hell with the Arab. Too many of our people, bars, all get lost in the sauce with their identity. You too busy trying to identify with the Asians. You too busy trying to identify with the African, trying to identify with the Arab. When in reality, you're making yourself a second-class citizen to these heathens, man, that hate us. But God chose us to be special and above all people. Right. Guess what, black man, Latino man, and woman? You above the oppressor. We above the African. We above the Arab. We above the Asian, man. We above the Filipinos and the Hawaiians and the Tongans. We above these other nations, man. And that's the problem, man. We too busy wanting to see what they got going on and do what they do. But the Lord told us He's not dealing with them. The Most High said that he's only dealing with our people. And I'm not just reading out my mouth. I'm not just talking to be talking. Everything I'm saying can be backed up with scripture. Read on.
Oh, God. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
That are upon the face of the earth. Now let me get Leviticus 20 and 26. Now, we above all people that are upon the face of the earth, man. Meaning we supposed to be separate, holy, man. Every black and Latino man and woman should be separate. What I mean by separate? We too busy trying to be given in marriage with these other nations, man. And it's time for us to wake up, man, and realize that the worst thing we can do is go and marry off into these other nations. You know what it is, you know what I mean, black man, Latino man, and woman. I understand, I get it. You know what I mean? I heard a silly Negro tell me, bars, oh, I'm just doing what they do to us, and that's F them. Can I get a high five? Can I get a fist bump? Hell no, nigga, for this reason. You don't realize, man, when you go up there and you lay with that heathen, or you go up there, you know what I mean, and try to be a part of their world, you trying to be with Nfutu and Ngala, you trying to be with that Asian, you trying to be with Bill, Bob, and Susie and Becky, you don't realize that you become their pet. That's when reality. You become their pet. Their people, man, will never accept us. But what's the point in trying to go and try to accept them and be accepted by them when the Lord made us to be holy, man, made us to be separate? Like my brother Barzal always say, man, we got 12 different flavors. Why would you want to go out of these 12 tribes? It's beyond me, because we got everything you would ever want. First off, man, the quote Barzal exactly, African women will never look better than black women. Neither of these other heathen women will look better than black and Latino and First Nation women, man. And we do ourselves a detriment, man, by going after these heathens. And that's the problem. And it ain't even just in that aspect. Trying to get the oppressor to accept you, you know what I mean, for who you are as a human being and as an equal is just nonsense. Because the Lord did not want us to be equal. The Lord did not want us to be on one accord. The Most High did not want us to be all together kumbaya with these other nations. And I can show it to you out the Bible. Read Leviticus 20 and 26.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
There was that word again, and ye shall be holy unto me. God is telling Moses is telling the children of Israel, that black man in America and South America and Haiti and Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica and St. Thomas and St. Clarence and the Dominican Republic, that Latino man and woman in Mexico, Honduras, Salvador, and Puerto Rico and Cuba, man, and that First Nation man and woman telling us that we should be separate unto me, meaning we separate unto the Most High God, man. You put so much energy trying to get, and I get it. Our people right now are fighting the fight right now to get critical race theory put back in the curriculums in these schools, man. And the oppressor does not want to tell his people or to teach our kids who he really is, and that's the devil that the Bible speaks of. That's now do you see the importance of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge? Now do you see the importance of what Commander General Yohana has been doing since what, the 80s, Barzal? Waking our people up and letting us realize, man, because I didn't know this was in the Bible. I grew up a silly Christian and 5%er all my life, and I never knew until I came into the Isupk that God wanted that black man and Latino man and First Nation man to be separate unto him, because we put too much of our effort trying to show, well, look what they did to us. Look what they've done. And those things are important. It's important for us to know about what happened with Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's important for us to understand what happened at Rosewood, what happened in the MOVE movement in 1985, where they firebombed, you know what I mean, West Philadelphia, Osage Avenue, killing black and Latino men and women. These things are important for us to understand. But also we have to understand this. Trying to force that on the oppressor, trying to guilt him into feel sorry for us is foolish. When all we have to do as blacks and Latinos and Native American Indians is come back to our God, coming into the Isupk. Stop murdering one another. Stop aborting our babies, man, and stop selling drugs and using drugs, man, and stop living like these silly heathens and realize our God has given us the blueprint, man. Our God gave us, you know what I mean, what we need to do as his people. He said, ye shall be holy unto me, separate unto me. You know what your son should tell Becky, you know what I mean, when she asked him out at the prom, or you know what, or Bill asked your daughter out, be like, nah, Bill, nah, Becky, can't do that. I'm separate unto the Lord. I'm holy. I got to go with that sister. You know what I mean? The sister going to say, I got to go with that brother. We have to get back on that accord, because these other nations are already moving like that. The Asians love one another. The Africans love one another. The oppressor loves one another. Now it's time for us, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, to love one another like that. Because God told us that we should be separate unto him. Read on.
For the Lord, for I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am holy. Meaning God is saying, for I am holy. I am separate. That's a cut to any pastor. Your pastor is in church right now, high out of his mind, getting ready to molest somebody's child or sleep with somebody's wife, got the Christmas tree in the corner, asking, where is my 20% in tithe? You know he had to go up, Barzal. And the Lord is saying, for I, the Lord, am separate, meaning God don't love everybody. And we have to stop forcing this on other people saying we have to give our salvation and share our God with everybody. No, our God, man, is one God. Shema Yasha'Allah Yahweh Alahayanawa Yahweh God. Meaning our God is one God, black man, Latino man, and woman, and he's only the God of the Israelites, who are blacks and Latinos and so-called Native American Indians, man. Read on.
God. And have severed you.
And have what?
Severed you.
What does it mean to have severed you? Now, if I cut your arm off, right? So I take this sword right here and boom, I cut your arm clean off. Your arm is now severed from your body, meaning God severed us. I wonder from who? Read on.
And severed you from other people.
God severed us from other people. Why would God do that? I thought God loved everybody, Barzal. I thought he wanted everybody to be together, ooh, kumbaya, but we've done this experiment before. We did it in Babylon during the Tower of Babel. When the Lord saw that we was one, saw us with the other nations and said, nah, man, sit the angel down and confounded the languages and split everybody up. This social experiment has been tried before and it failed because God does not want everybody together. God severed us from other people. And segregation is great. It's amazing. It's good. Because you know what happens when we're segregated from these heathens? Our businesses can skyrocket and boom, man. That's one thing we had during the 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s. We had our own businesses, Barzo. We did. We had our own schools, our own hospitals. We had, you know what I mean, our neighborhoods and communities were tight-knit where that black and Latino dollar fluctuated between us. Now we're giving our money to these heathens. Now, who are we giving our money to? Lee Chang? We giving our money to her? We giving our money to Nunfutu and Nongala, eating the fufu, which is disgusting, by the way. Giving our money to the Arabs and the crown fried chicken. Give me a break, black man, Latino man, and woman. What about us? What about us? What about us separating from these heathens? Because God did this for a reason. For a reason. He said, and severed you from other people. Meaning, guess what? The importance of us being severed from these other nations is so we can flourish and serve our God, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. That's why God severed us from everybody. And to show you that segregation is great, look at the Asians. I don't care what city you in, there is a Chinatown there. And they love one another in Chinatown. You can't get a job in Chinatown, Barzo. You can't even mop the floor. Why? Because Asians love each other like that. You can't get a job in that crown fried chicken. Listen, it ain't going to happen. They ain't going to do it, man. That's why it's important for us to reestablish our businesses. That's why it's important that we're fighting a futile effort, a pointless fight, trying to get equality and be together with these other nations when God told us that all we have to do, man, is come back to him and separate from them. And we're doing that in the ISUPK. That's why the Lord severed us from other people. Read on.
Right. Kamaka. That ye should be mine.
That ye should be mine, meaning we belong to the Most High. We don't belong to the oppressor. We don't belong to the African. We don't belong to the Asians. We belong to God. But the problem is we want to be like these other nations, man. And the Lord said this. Let me get Proverbs 3 and 31 and then go to Jeremiah 10 and 1. This is what we have to understand, first of all. You may look at the oppressor and all he has. And I heard a silly Negro the other day, Barzal, say that we have to respect the oppressor in his game. We have to respect how he moves. We got to strive to be like that. The brother is basically saying we got to be liars, we got to cheat, we got to steal, and we got to be murderers and rapists. No, black man, Latino man, and woman. We cannot live like that. 9 and 24 is that the earth was given unto the hand of the wicked. Who is the wicked on the earth? The oppressor is the wicked on the earth. We cannot move like him, man. Read what you got.
Oh God. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 10.
No, 3 and 31, Salak.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
God said, envy thou not the oppressor. Meaning, don't envy the oppressor. Don't envy Tim and Bill and Bob and Adam. Don't envy them. Don't envy the oppressor. The oppressor got what he got by being a liar and a evil monster, man. The earth was given unto him, man, because we disobeyed our God. Understand this, man. The Lord is saying, envy thou not the oppressor. Read on.
Come. And choose none of his ways.
Choose some of his ways.
None of his ways.
Christmas.
And choose none of his ways.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Let me give you a wake-up call, black man, Latino man, and woman. Celebrating Christmas is the way of the oppressor. Celebrating Thanksgiving, celebrating New Year's, all of those things are the way of the oppressor. Hell, being a homosexual was the way of the oppressor. Being a homosexual was not natural to us black man, Latino man, and woman, but it's natural to the oppressor. That's why he legalized it. If Bill wants to go be with Tim, so be it. If Becky wants to go pat fudge with Susie, let them do it. But black man, Latino man, and woman, we can't live like that. We can't be murderers. We can't be rapists. We can't be evil, wicked monsters, man. Another important thing, man, we can't abort our babies. If Becky and Susan want to go abort their babies, have at it. Let the oppressor go and abort their babies. Let them go murder their children. We can't do that as black and Latino and First Nation men and women, man. We can't do that. That's why the Lord said, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. A lot of y'all right now got a Christmas tree in the house right now. You got that tree sitting there right now, not realizing that that is the way of the oppressor, and I can show and prove it. I can show it out the Bible. But I know what you're thinking. But what about the kids, Yediah? What about my mother if I don't get her a gift? What about my wife? You mean to tell me you love them more than the Most High? And then you try to make other excuses, but it's Christ's birthday when it was not. Let me give you a history lesson. Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, was not born on December 25th. It was an evil African named Nimrod who was born on December 25th, who was an evil, wicked monster. And guess what? When he died, his spirit went inside of a pine tree. And they started making sacrifices to the tree, sacrificing animals and their kids and whatever and other people. And then they start bringing gifts and tribute, bringing gifts and bow down and giving and bowing down to the tree and presenting gifts under the tree so that Nimrod won't haunt them and kill them. That sound familiar? Your Christmas is a Babylonian custom, and God said not to do it. Even though your pastor has that tree in his church right now, a lot of you Muslims got one in your Muslim mosques too. But I'm going to show you, according to our God, that Christmas is wrong. Something that your pastor won't do. That's why the Lord said, and I read in Proverbs 3 and 31, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. Meaning, don't choose the ways of the oppressor. Right. Don't choose his ways. Being a murderer, being a gangster, some Italian mafioso, guess what? You may think you're the hardest nigga on your block. I hear you. You may think that you push the most weight, that you do this, you do that. You're not a bigger gangster than the oppressor. You're not a bigger pedophile or homosexual or evil monster than this oppressor. And that's why God said choose none of his ways. Because being evil, being unrighteous comes natural to the oppressor. That's why the scriptures say that we were made to be a vessel of righteousness and he was made to be a vessel of unrighteousness. Now, let's read Jeremiah 10 and verse 1. Let me show you your Christmas in the Bible.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Now, the Lord is saying, hear ye the word which I speak of unto you, O house of Israel. Meaning God is specifically talking to the Israelites, black and Latino and First Nation men and women. He ain't talking to everybody. Read on.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the heathen. Meaning this. Don't do these things that the heathen do. Learn not the way of the heathen, man. Meaning don't do that. Don't participate in Saturnalia, which is really Christmas. You know what I mean? Saturnalia, you know what I mean, was a festival that the Romans and Greeks did, you know what I mean, where they would get drunk and have, you know, homosexual orgies with each other under the pine tree and decorated and all that garbage and give each other gifts, not realizing what we really celebrate. The Lord is saying, learn not to the way of the heathen. Meaning, don't do what these heathen do, man. Read on.
Of God. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For
be not what?
Be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. A lot of y'all get caught up, right? You get caught up in looking up at the sun, moon, and the stars, getting caught up in astrology, worried about whatever type of zodiac sign that y'all are, and it's all garbage. Don't be confused. Don't be distracted. Don't be confounded by that garbage, man. Read on.
Oh God. For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Not the heathen. The heathen are dismayed at them. They can be dismayed at them. They can be confused and worship the planets and the stars and that garbage. The oppressor in these other nations can do that. But we can't do that, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Read on.
Oh God. For the customs of the people are vain.
For the customs of the people are vain. Now, I'm going to read an article. Before we go to the scripture, Barzal, because this is the thing I noticed, Barzal. This is an experiment that Officer Murad did at camp. I want y'all to understand something. I'm going to put something for us to camp. This is CBS News, right? I want y'all to see it, and then I'm going to read it. That's CBS News. What's that, Channel 3? Y'all don't want to believe the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under command of General Yohana, but you will believe the white man. You will believe Channel 3. It says, the unexpected origins of popular Christmas traditions. Now, this is CBS News. All I had to do is do something smart with my smartphone, Barzal, like Murad would say. That's all I had to do. I just typed in, you know what I mean, Christmas, you know what I mean, and origins. It says, though December 25th is the day Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, the date itself and several of the customs we come to associate with Christmas actually evolved from pagan traditions celebrating the winter solstice. Didn't you just read in Jeremiah, the 10th chapter, that the customs of the heathens are vain, that we shouldn't be dismayed at the signs of heaven? This is CBS News. This is CBS News. This is what y'all watch every morning, right? You watch it you watch 3, 6, and 10. You know what I mean? You watch it. This is Channel 3 News. And it says the customs we come to associate with Christmas actually evolved from pagan traditions celebrating the winter solstice. God, and this article came out not too long ago. But the Bible, which is thousands of years old, this was long before any of us thought of. The Lord told Jeremiah that the customs of the people are vain. You know what I mean? That's what the Lord said. The Lord said, don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. Well, the heathen are dismayed at them. They wanted to celebrate the winter solstice. They wanted to go up there and worship the sky and the moon and the stars. Come on now. This is in the Bible. It says in ancient, and that's in the Bible right there, man. This is an article from CBS News. You know what I mean? Because you won't listen to the priests and prophets of the Lord, but you will believe the oppressor. It says in ancient Rome, there was a feast called Saturnalia that celebrated the solstice. The day that the sun starts coming back, the day starts getting longer, and most of the traditions that we have to relate to Christmas relate to the solstice, which was celebrated in ancient Rome on December 25th. Not realizing this is what you're celebrating. It has pagan origins, man. Right. And the Bible says, and we're going to read on. It says another custom we can thank for the pagans is Christmas trees. The evergreen trees signify the return of light and light, as the winter solstice meant the days were starting to get longer. Good night. Goes to show you, even the tree, Barzal, even the tree itself is pagan. And that's CBS News. This is CBS News. I'm going to put it back to the camera so y'all can see the unexpected origins, pagan origins of Christmas. That's right there. This is CBS. Channel 3. Now, let's read on. Barzal. From Jeremiah.
Come God. For one cut a tree out of the forest.
Now, one cuts a tree out of the forest. How'd you get your Christmas tree? You went down there to the woods, some old presser, you know what I mean, cut it down, or you went to Walmart or Target, Rito.
The work of the hands of the workmen.
The work of the hands of the workmen. Read on.
With an axe.
With an axe. Read on.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
They deck it with silver and with gold. What's that song? That song called? It's called Deck the Halls, right? Meaning they're decorating this tree with silver and with gold. A lot of y'all just got done decorating your tree with silver and gold. That's why the Lord said in Ecclesiastes, man, there is but no new thing under the sun. And this is what the Lord said not to do. The Lord said don't do this. And CBS News said you shouldn't be doing this, man, because it has pagan origins. Now, the Lord said it, and the oppressor is trying to tell you too. That's why if CBS published this, Barzal, it goes to show you one thing. It goes to show you that CBS News has been watching the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. They've been watching the ISUPK under Command and General Yohana, man. They know. The Lord said this, man. That's what makes it heavier, written thousands of years ago. They deck it with silver and with gold. A lot of y'all just got done decorating that tree now, and you still do it. They just brought that tree, you know what I mean, from upstate New York. They got it down in Center City now, Barzal. They just got done decorating it with silver and with gold. This is what the Lord said not to do. Read on.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers, meaning now you're taking, you know what I mean, the nails and the hammer, and you're fastening the tree in the corner of your crib, right? That it don't move, that it sits there. Read on.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not.
That it move not. Now the tree is just sitting up in the corner. It's just sitting there. You just got done decorating with silver and gold. You got the eggnog ready. You're getting ready to get your, you know, your cookies and stuff for Santa Claus. Barzal, you know Santa Claus is gay now. Santa Claus is a homosexual now. Good night, Barzal. We are really in Babylon, man. When the real Saint Nick was a black man, man, out there in Russia that was giving out gifts, you know what I mean, to orphans, man. And now they done turned Santa Claus, you know what I mean, into a homosexual. And a lot of y'all like to go up there into these malls and sit your babies, man, on a disgusting bastards, you know what I mean, lap, man. Not realizing, man, what we doing, man. Not realizing that this is idol worship, man. This is paganism, what the Lord said not to do. And the Lord didn't just say it, and I'm going to beat this drum, Barzal, because CBS News said it. Come on, man. Channel 3 said it, Barzal. You ain't going to believe us. I know you believe Channel 3. You believe everything that the oppressors say. And where do you think he learned that from? The Lord said, man, learn not the way of the heathen, man. He says, for the customs of the people are vain. For one cut up a tree out of the forest. They deck it with silver and gold and fasten it with nails and hammers that it move not. That's your tree. That's your Christmas tree that is in your crib right now. Read on.
They are upright as the palm tree.
They are upright as the palm tree, meaning they sit straight up, just like that palm tree. Read on.
But speak not.
They speak not. These trees, man, can't talk. They can't speak to you. Why is the Lord saying to speak not? First of all, you got to understand the history part of it, and I'm about to explain. I went over it a little bit earlier. Christmas, you know what I mean, derives from Saturnalia, you know, which the Romans and the Greeks would celebrate. Read that in the CBS News article. But it originated from Babylon. When the African Nimrod died, right, they believe that his spirit went into the evergreen pine tree because the tree grew all year long. And they believe that if you didn't go and sacrifice under this tree and present gifts and tribute under the tree to Nimrod, then he would come and kill you. Go to show you, man, all that is paganism, man. That's why God said, for they speak not. Nimrod not about to talk to you. Them African ain't about to talk to you. The oppressor not about to talk to you. But you know how they speak to you now? How do they speak to you now during this so-called holiday season? Barzal bring it up all the time, man. Mariah Carey is back. She's off ice. This is that time of year where Satan is just running rampant, man. Where that spirit comes out. Now you can't even turn on the goddamn radio, man, without hearing Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You" and all them other Christmas carols to get you in the Christmas spirit, to get you in that satanic spirit. And for those of you that work at an elevator plantation in a mall or a supermarket, Lord be with you, because I'm right there with you. We got to hear that garbage all day. They tried to tell me, boys, I can't have my headphones in. I'm going to be damned if I'm going to be listening to Mariah Carey and that garbage all day long at that elevator plantation. Esau got me. The oppressor got me messed up. But here's the thing. Understand, man. That's the spirit. That's how it speaks to you now. It speaks to you now because you can't go in the toy store. You can't go in Walmart and Target without seeing all of these different decorations. And they implore you that you have to get in the holiday spirit. You have to give your child a gift on December 25th. Like Barzal got more kids than Miss Wayne's outside of Zarwai. Him and Zarwai got the most children in Israel. They can give their babies a gift any other day of the year. But if they don't get their children a gift on December 25th, guess what? Society, Esau would deem them to be a bad parent when realize they're the best parents you could ever have, man. Because they fear God. They fear Yahweh. They ain't got no Christmas trees in their house. My mother tried to get me the other day. Telling me, oh, baby, can you just carry the tree in? Can you come over and help me? I'm like, I don't even know why you made that phone call and mustered up the strength to ask that. We can't do that because in my house, we're going to serve the Lord, Mom. It's a lie. Understand this. They get you in that spirit, man. You can't go nowhere. That's how it's speaking to you now. It's speaking to you through Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. A lot of y'all around this time like to put on DMX when DMX sang the song. You see, that's the problem with our people, man. You get caught up in that spirit, man, and don't even realize that Satan already has you. The tree may not be speaking to you, but the spirit that them demons got on it, man, is speaking to you. They letting you know, yo, if you don't get this gift, if you don't go out and buy that TV or that new Xbox or that new PlayStation, you're not a good parent, which really makes you a great parent, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, by not getting your child a Christmas tree or nothing for Christmas, man. Serve the Most High, man. We got feast days coming up, man. We just got Hanukkah, man. We got Purim coming up. We got the Passover, man. We have our high holy days and feast days that the Lord ordained, man. Let's read on.
God. They must needs be born.
They must needs be born. I just broke that down. How are they born? They're born by you listening to Silent Night by the Temptations. They're born by you going out there and buying those gifts. They're born by you leaving, cookies, for the oppressor, for Santa Claus, who was a goddamn sodomite now, Barzo. I know y'all saw that commercial, man. They done got rid of Mrs. Claus, Barzo. Like, god damn, man, this is really Babylon. This is Babylon, the great whore, man. Got rid of Mrs. Claus, and y'all don't even see it. Y'all don't even peep. But y'all claim to be woke when y'all fast asleep. A lot of y'all sleepwalking right now. Not even realizing the significance, of what's going on in this society that is being born. The Christmas spirit is born around this time, man. It got Mariah Carey off of ice. Now all you hear is that goddamn song that I cannot stand. Now you see all the advertisements, all of the sales. They get you right in prime into the spirit that if you don't watch yourself and if you don't stay strong in this truth, and uphold the integrity, man, you might find yourself at your mama house for Christmas. You might find yourself, getting a Christmas gift for your rib and a tree for your babies, even though you know it's wrong, but you don't want to offend them, man. The hell if they offended, man. God is offended by the fact that our people celebrate Christmas, man, by celebrating these evil, wicked holidays, man. Read on.
Oh, God. Because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them.
Don't be afraid of them, man. That tree, the Lord had to let us know, man, don't be afraid of these trees, man. Don't be afraid, in the spirit of Christmas, man. Understand, man, and I do understand this. You know what I mean? This may be your first go around coming into the truth, man. You're young. You got to come to class, man, and get around these priests and prophets, get around these brothers, get around these sisters, man. Do not succumb to weakness, man. Because understand this. What we got to realize, man, it says, man, that they cannot go, but be not afraid of them. Don't be afraid of these Christmas trees, man. Don't be afraid of this spirit, of this satanic holiday, man. Understand this, man, that all we have to do as the Lord's chosen people is keep his law, statutes, and commandments, man, to do what our God said to do. Don't go out there and buy that tree. Don't be afraid, you know what I mean, if your mama is going to be upset with you because you ain't get her a gift. Don't be afraid because your kids might not love you, man. You showing your love to your mother and your father and your kids and your wives, man, by not celebrating Christmas, by not getting, you know what I mean, a tree, you know what I mean, and doing what the Lord said not to do. Now, drop that. Let me get Amos 5 and verse 21. And that's the thing, man. We're too busy trying to please the oppressor, please these other nations, and compromise, man, the integrity, man, and which is so heavy that a lot of us, man, fold under that pressure. Fold for this reason, man, because this is that time of year, man, where you are really going to be tested. When they ask you if you're going to come over there for Christmas ham, you know what I mean, and that turkey and that stuff, and say la out. If you got to eat cold pizza, so be it, man. Show your love for the Most High in Christ by not celebrating Christmas, by not doing the things that the heathen said was acceptable. The heathen said that smoking weed is acceptable. They said that being a homosexual and being a murderer is acceptable. But all of those things are unacceptable to our God, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Let me get Amos 5 and verse 21.
It's the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 21. I hate.
God said, I hate. For you Christians out there, God said, I hate. What does God hate, by the way? I thought God was incapable of hate, Barzal. But Pastor Ruffin's wrong again. Joel Osteen, T.D. Snakes, Salakia, T.D. Jakes, and Creflo Dollar wrong again. That's another strike against your pastor. God said, I hate. Read on.
I despise your feast days.
Key word, your feast days, your Christmas, your New Year's. A lot of y'all, man, are going to get together and freeze your behinds off for New Year's. And what the hell is new in the dead of January, Barzal, in the dead of winter? In the dead of winter, not realizing that you're celebrating the Roman god Janus, man. Not realizing, man, that the New Year is around the time of spring, the time of Passover. Goes to show you, black man, Latino man, how long are you going to continue to fall for the okie doke, man? Like not realizing, man, that the New Year don't begin in the dead of winter. It actually begins in April and late March, man. But who's the real fool? You know that thing, April Fools, man? The real fool, you know what I mean? And the real foolishness is believing, you know what I mean, that the new beginning is in January. When the new year begins in the springtime, around the time of Passover. Goes to show you, man, how important it is to understand what our God said. Our God said, I despise your feast days, your Christmas, your New Year's, your birthday, your Thanksgiving, your Valentine's Day, your Memorial Day, your Veterans Day, man. The Lord has high holy days and feast days that we have to keep and observe, man. And Christmas ain't one of them. Read it.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
The Lord ain't smelling that Christmas hash and ham and turkey and chicken. The Lord ain't trying to smell none of that. That food that you making towards them idols, man, the Lord ain't smelling none of that, black man, Latino man, and woman. The Lord is telling you right now. But I get what y'all saying. You probably saying, well, you know, Yediah, that was back then. These are modern times now, Yediah. You know what I mean? This is the modern age where it's for the family. You know what I mean? It's for the kids. Now I want to read you a scripture, right? I'm going to read Malachi chapter 3 and verse 6. Malachi 3 and 6 says, for I am the Lord, I change not. God does not change, man. God hated Christmas back then, and God hates it today. That's what's important to understand, black man, Latino man, and woman. Don't compromise. Don't go out like no sucker, no punk, man. Don't go out, you know what I mean, like that. Now is the time to stay strong. Now is the time to prove to the Most High that you down with him. By not just coming to these classes, not just tuning in online, but showing the Lord, man, behind closed doors, that you ain't gonna celebrate these wicked holidays, man. That you ain't gonna celebrate Christmas. You ain't gonna be no murderer, no sexual deviant, no homosexual, no evil bastard. Now is the time to prove it to the Most High. I pray you understand. That's why it's important to get this black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Because the problem is, in which ties right in, our people, you celebrate Christmas, you keep these things of the oppressor in these other nations, because deep down, you want salvation to come to them. And salvation is not coming to these heathens, man. It's not. My question is, what does the oppressor need to be saved from? What? What does the African need to be saved from? What does the Arab need to be saved from? They don't need to be saved from nothing. You know who needs salvation? That black man in the ghetto. That Latino man and woman in the barrio locked in cages. That Native Indian man and woman, that First Nation man and woman, that Seminole Indian man and woman that are in the, they're not reservations, man. Let's call it for what the hell it is. Our brothers and sisters of the tribe of Gad, the tribe of Reuben, the First Nation, and the Seminole Indian man and woman are living in modern day concentration camps. Let's just call it for what it is. Our brothers and sisters are in concentration camps, in detention centers, when all of this land belongs to our people. How dare you, if you are black or Latino or First Nation man and woman, want to give our salvation to these heathens, man? Try to say, but what about the Gentiles, you dyer? What about these other nations? I'm going to show you who salvation is for. I'm going to go into the Bible and show you who salvation is for, and I'm going to show you Gentile MDL Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. First, Barzal, if I could, right? Let me get Matthew 1 and 21. Let me start there real quick. Let me go to some milk. A lot of our people need to be reminded. You got to come to class and you got to tune into class. Because as soon as you get that thought about, well, what about the oppressor? You know, Christmas ain't all that bad. Bill and Bob and Becky and Futu and Ngala, they've been good to me. The hell with them, man. They oppress our people each and every day. If Christ came back tomorrow, he ain't going to the oppressor. He ain't going to the African. He ain't going to the Asian. He ain't going to the Arab. But he will go to that black man, that Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Because we are God's chosen people, man. Let's read Matthew 1 and 21.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And she shall bring forth a son.
She that's going to bring forth a son is Mary, man. Mary was the cousin of Elizabeth and John the Baptist. Elizabeth was a Levite, man, a so-called Haitian woman. John the Baptist was a Haitian man of the tribe of Levi, man. And Elizabeth, you know what I mean? And Mary was their cousin. You know, Mary could be from the tribe of Levi, man. Mary today would be a Haitian woman, man. And look at how it goes to show you, man. I hate to drag it on, Barzal, but look at how they treat our people, man. What Africans said, you know, what is going on with the Haitians at the border is a catastrophe. We must do something. No African stood up for our brothers and sisters, man. And I gotta bring this up every time, man. Africa is like, and I ain't got no rap. I got no rap for none of these heathens, man. For you brothers and sisters that think you African, there's something wrong with you mentally. Because Haiti tried to join Africa's Union in May of 2016. And Africa told Haiti, you're not African enough. Because the Africans understand that the so-called Haitian man and woman are not African. We ain't black. We ain't African black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. We are not African. They'll tell you that we are black. We are Akata, a cotton picker. Well, we are greater than those bywords, man. We're the Israelites of antiquity. And that's who salvation is coming for, man. That black man in Haiti and the Dominican Republic, you know what I mean, in South and North America, man, we not African. We ain't the same as them. And Christ is not coming back to save them Africans. He ain't coming back to save the oppressor of these heathens. Read what you got. Keep reading.
God. And thou shalt call him his name, Yahushua.
Yahushua, Jesus, man. Read on.
God. For he shall save his people.
But he shall save his people. Meaning, not all people, not some people, but his people. Why is that important? Because who is Christ's people? Who is he coming to save? He's coming to save that Latino man and woman that is suffering in the barrio, suffering in the Amazon, suffering in Mexico and El Salvador and Honduras and Puerto Rico and Cuba. That black man in Haiti. Haiti is a French word which means hell. In Haiti, man, and it's sad because it's the poorest country. In Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica, you know what I mean? In North America, in New York, Philadelphia, Inglewood, Oakland, Detroit, Flint, Houston. Name any city in America and all across the earth, you'll find blacks and Latinos and Native American Indians, the Israelites of antiquity, in utter poverty. But the problem is, we want to give this salvation to everybody. We can't do that. This is only for our people. It says, he shall bring forth a son, he shall save his people. Not all people, but his people. And who are Christ's people? Give me Romans chapter 9 and verse 4.
This is the book of Romans. This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 40.
Who are Christ's people, man? I'm going to show it to you according to the Bible.
9 and 40?
Yeah, 9 and 4, Salak. Romans 9 and verse 4.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 4. That, slack
Who are, Romans 9 and verse 4. Who is Christ's people, man? Who is Christ coming to save? Read on.
Who are Israelites?
Who are what?
Who are Israelites?
Who are Israelites, man? You read verse 3. Paul is saying, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ, for my brethren. Paul was saying, man, I'd rather be a fake Israelite. I'd rather be out in the world, man, as my brothers, man. I'd rather be accursed for Christ, for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh. Because Paul was an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin, man. Who was Christ's people? Who was Paul's brethren? Who are what?
Israelites.
Who are Israelites, man. That's who Christ is coming for. Read on.
God. To whom pertaineth the adoption?
For who attaineth the adoption? We were adopted by the Most High, man. The Lord chose us, black man, Latino man, and woman. Read on.
God. And the glory and the covenant.
And the glory and the covenants, man. We were the one that was given the glory of being God's chosen people. The covenants, man, the agreement, man. Law, statutes, and commandments. Read on.
And the giving of the law.
And the giving of the law. Meaning the law was only given to blacks and Latinos and Native American Indians. That's Psalms 147 and verse 19 through 20. Read on.
And the service of the Most High.
And the service of the Most High. But the problem is we can get caught up, get confused, have a little love for the oppressor, and be like, well, what about the other nations? What about the Gentile? And the Lord said, who are Israelites, man? For who pertaineth the adoption? For who pertaineth the covenant, man? Now, you'll get caught up, right? And you'll read something like this. Read Romans chapter, drop that. Read Romans chapter 9 and verse 24.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 24. Even us, whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles.
Now, if you read this, right? If you read this and be like, you idiot, he called not just the Jews, but he called the Gentiles. Now, my question is, who are the Gentiles? I'm going to answer it for you. Now, you can understand, right, if you can read things in context. You know, the Lord told Paul, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, the covenant, and the giving of the law, man, and the service of God. In the same chapter, the Lord said how he loved Jacob and hated Esau. But not understanding, not being well learned, you know what I mean? Or you're still learning and want clarification. This is why it's important to ask questions, man, and come into the ISUP can't get them answered, because that may trip you up. A Christian may pull that and say, but not just the Jews, but the Gentiles too. Understand this, right? Who are considered the Jews? The Jews make up Judah, man. If you look up, you know what I mean, Judah, what's short for Judah? Jew. You had a homie named Judah? Might call him Jew for short. That's where you get the Jews, man. And Judah encompasses Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Now, the Gentiles that are also being called, right? But also of the Gentiles, first we have to understand what does Gentile mean. I'm going to break it down for you. This is the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. Now, I'm going to read Gentiles, right? Now, we didn't write this. This is the oppressor. This is what the oppressor put in his books. Now, on page 307, right? Gentiles in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. Gentiles sometimes refers to Israel. Now, but usually means a non-Israelite people. Now, Gentiles sometimes refers to Israel, but it usually means a non-Israelite. Now we have to understand, and that was on page 307 in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. Now, it sometimes refers to Israelites, but usually means a non-Israelite. Now, we have to understand who are the Gentiles that are being spoken about in Romans chapter 9 and verse 24, where it says, even us whom are called not the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. Now, in this context, who is this talking about? Who's it talking about? Who does it have to be talking about? Because we read in Romans 9 and verse 4, that who are the Israelites to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises. This has to be talking about the Gentiles that are the Israelites, man. Why is it talking about Israelites, man, being Gentiles? Because when we left our laws, statutes, and commandments, there was a point where the Lord split the kingdom, man, where he was only dealing with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and the other 9 tribes, 10 tribes, you know what I mean, of Ephraim all the way down to Issachar. The Lord wasn't dealing with them. They became Gentiles. Hell, if you was an Israelite that grew up outside of Judea, out of Jerusalem, you was considered a Gentile, man. And let me prove it to you. Let's go to John, right? 7 and 35. Because the Bible says to prove all things, Barzo. And I'm going to prove it to you right here. Now, to show you that these are the Gentiles that Christ was sent to go see. Now, let me show it to you. Read John chapter 7 and verse 35. Then hold Matthew chapter 10 and verse 5 through 7. To show you, to prove what the Zondervan was saying, that it sometimes refers to Israel, right? But usually means a non-Israelite people. Now we have to distinguish who are the Gentiles, that's saying not of the Jews only, but also the Gentiles. Who was that talking about? Let's read what you got. Read John chapter 7 and verse 35.
It's the book of John, chapter 7 and verse 35. Mm-hmm. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go?
They're like, where is Christ going? Where is Yahushua going, man? Read on.
That we shall not find him.
That we shall not find him. They're like, where is Christ going to go that we cannot find him? He right here. I see him. Now I realize, man, that Christ had to go, and die so we could come back into this truth. But they didn't understand that. They like, man, where is Christ going to go? Well, we can't find him. Read on.
God. Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles?
The what?
The dispersed among the Gentiles?
The dispersed among the Gentiles. Meaning, there are Israelites that are dispersed, that are scattered among the Gentiles. Read on.
And teach the Gentiles?
And teach the Gentiles. Who are the Gentiles in that context? Who are the Gentiles in that context? Where it says, this shall go to the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles. Who are they? Those are Israelites, man. Those are the Israelites. Those are Israelites that Christ was going to go teach, man, that he sent Paul to go teach, man, the disciples, man. Now let me show you the other Gentiles who Christ said, don't go teach. That's why it's important, man, if you're young in this truth, you need to study. You need to study, man. If you're young in this truth, pick up that Bible, come to class, man, tune in online, and come to class physically. If you're a trooper and you got your officer's test, it is no excuse, man, why you're not studying that test, man. You need to be studying right now, brother. I pray you understand. Now read Matthew chapter 10 and verse 5 for me, Bubba, for sure. Now let me show you the Gentiles that Christ said not to go see.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 5. These 12, the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 5. These 12, Yahweh sent forth and commanded them, saying,
now, these 12 disciples, Christ commanded them to go and do what? Read on.
go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Go not unto the way of the Gentiles. Wait a minute, boys. Hold up. But we just read in John, right? 7 and 35, that they were saying he's going to go into the disperse among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles. Now Christ is saying to the 12 disciples, go not unto the way of the Gentiles. Now who are the Gentiles in this context? Who could be the Gentiles in this context? Like we read in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary on page 307. Gentiles sometimes refers to Israelites. Those are the Israelites that Romans 9 and verse 24 is referring to, man. Of not of the Jews only, but of the Gentiles also. Those are Israelites. But in Matthew 10 and verse 5 through 7, these Gentiles are other nations, man. And in John chapter 7 and verse 35, those Gentiles are Israelites, man. But in Matthew the 10th chapter and the 6th verse, it says, well, verse 5, read verse 5, where you were, go not into the way of who?
Of the Gentiles.
Don't go to these different nations. Don't go to these heathens, man. And now Christ is about to tell you who should we go to. Read on.
And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Christ was so hardcore. He said, yo, if you go to a city and ain't no Israelites there, don't even go in. Don't even go in if it ain't no black or Latino or First Nation men and women there. That's how hardcore our king was. Read on.
But go rather unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, man. Christ said, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, man. Because we were scattered all throughout the earth. That's why, you know what I mean, that we're considered Gentiles now, man. Matter of fact, now I got to prove that. We were scattered. We get Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64 and hold James 1 and 1. Now I got to show that we were scattered. And I can feel it. Y'all like, God damn it, you dropping a lot. We were scattered among all people. That's why when you read in John 7 and verse 35, they're saying, is Christ going to go and teach the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Why? Because as blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the Israelites of antiquity, we were scattered all throughout the earth because we disobeyed our God, man. And that's in the Bible. It's in the so-called Old Testament and New Testament, and I'm going to prove it and show it to you. Read what you got.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
The Lord said he was going to scatter us among all people. You want to know why you can find a black or Latino man in Russia? Why you can find a black or Latino man in Asia, you know what I mean? Or a black man, you know what I mean, in Africa. Not saying everybody in Ghana and Nigeria and Libya are Israelites, but the real Israelites over there are going through real hell, real poverty, being oppressed by the Africans, man. Being oppressed by the oppressor in Europe, man. Ask our brothers and sisters, man, our Benjamite brothers and sisters in the UK going through real hell at the hand of the oppressor. Ask our brothers and sisters in Trinidad and Tobago who are going through it at the hand of Elam, the East Indians, man. We go through hell everywhere we are because the Lord said he would scatter us among all people, man. Read on.
From the one end of the earth, even unto the other.
From one end of the earth, even unto the other. That's why you can find us everywhere. In the islands, in North and South America, and Central America. It's a brother in Siberia freezing his ass off right now, Barzal. Like, God damn, what did I do to deserve this? And all he wanted is a blanket. We scattered all over, man. Scattered all over because we disobeyed our God. And not just that, read on.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
Now we serving other gods, man. We're in America right now serving other gods. Y'all got a Christmas tree in the house right now. You serving other gods. You serving the God of the oppressor, man. You serving the gods of the Africans. This is Bible prophecy. This is history that we going over, man. It says that we would serve other gods. And you wonder why you're a Muslim. You wonder why you're a Christian. You wonder why you're a Seventh-day Adventist. You wonder why you're a, what do they call themselves now? Spiritualist, Barzal? You wonder why you're in Egyptology. You wonder why you're a Buddhist. You wonder why you're agnostic and all this other garbage. Because God said because we disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments, that we would be scattered throughout all the nations from one end of the earth unto the other and serve other gods. We're doing that right now, man. Read on.
God, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
We ain't known this. We ain't known Christmas. We ain't known, Islam, or we ain't known, New Year's, celebrating Janus and that garbage, man. Read on.
Even wood and stone.
Even wood and stone. What is that wood and stone? The stone is that Kaaba stone that them Arabs love and circle and worship, man. I'm going to go over that next class, next Thursday, on how Islam is garbage. Now, and the wood is that Christian cross, man. A lot of y'all look real foolish with them crosses around your neck, man. If Christ was shot, would you wear a gun? If Christ was shot with a white beretta, would you wear a white beretta around your neck? That's how stupid you look wearing a cross. Now, let me get James 1:1. That goes to show you that we were scattered throughout all of the nations, man. And now, I'm going to show it to you in the so-called New Testament. As the scriptures say, precept must be upon precept, line upon line. Read James 1:1.
Oh, God. This is the book of James.
And then let me get Acts 2 and 5. James 1:1. And if y'all got any questions, make sure y'all type them in. I'm answering y'all questions tonight, no matter what it is. Or you can take this time, or you can send your questions in to Ask Ye the Prophets every Wednesday, man, with 12 Shield General Mayaka Allah, man. Send in your questions to Ask Ye the Prophets, man, with General Mayak every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. But if you got a question for me right now, just type it in the comment section on Facebook or YouTube, Bubba Kushar. Let me get James 1:1.
Oh, God. This is the book of James. So I get chapter 1 and verse 1.
Yeah, James 1:1. That's why it's important, man, to get in class, man, to understand our history. You don't understand who the Gentiles are, you know what I mean? In these contexts, you'll be messed up. You'll be thinking the Lord is coming to save everybody, and that ain't true. That's why Christ said, go not into the way of the Gentiles, speaking about the other nations. But when you read in Romans 9:24, or in John 7:35, who are those Gentiles? Those Gentiles are Israelites, man, because we were scattered all throughout the earth, man. You got it, Barzo?
Oh, God. This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of the Most High and the Lord of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
To the
12 tribes scattered abroad.
To the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad, man. And what we got to understand, man, it wasn't just us black man and woman that went into slavery. Oh, no. That Latino man and woman went into slavery too. So did that Native American Indian man and woman. The Seminole Indian and the First Nation man and woman, they were put on cargo slave ships, man, and shipped to Spain. The oppressor came over here, the conquistador, Cortez and the boys of Columbus, came and took the Taino Indian of the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh, took them, right, and dropped them off in Puerto Rico and in Cuba, man. And Puerto Rico means rich port, port of riches, man. That's your name, Puerto Rican man and woman? No, you are the tribe of Ephraim, man. Cuban man and woman, you are the tribe of Manasseh. South American man and woman, man, from Colombia to Uruguay, you are the tribe of Asher. If you live in Argentina to Chile, you are the tribe of Naphtali, God's chosen people, man. And guess what? Guess what language we spoke? We spoke Hebrew, man. We spoke that Hebrew, Latino man and woman, First Nation man and woman, Seminole Indian man and woman, black man and woman, man. We were scattered abroad, man, them 12 tribes, and that's what makes the oppressor such an evil bastard, man. Why, he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. I'm going to go into it tonight too, man. But that bar's all. Next time you see a so-called Jew, it's anybody. Next time you see them with that stupid yarmulke on their head, ask them what tribe they from. I bet you they can't tell you. But I ain't Jewish. When you a Khazar, man, you Ashkenazi, you a red dog, the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Can't even tell you what tribe they from. And that's another thing too. Africans can tell you what tribe they from. I was in a clubhouse room earlier at Barzal. Some Africans were saying, well, I'm from Nigeria. I am from Ghana. I am from South America. I am from Eritrea. Black man, what tribe you from? In Africa. You don't even know. But we do have a tribe, man. We come from the tribe of Judah. Black man in America. You in the West Indian Islands. You from the tribe of Benjamin, Bunyamin in the Hebrew. You from Haiti. You come from the tribe of Levi, man. If you from the Dominican Republic, you are the tribe of Simeon. If you Mexican, you come from the tribe of Isupk. Colombia to Uruguay, you come from Asher. You know, Argentina to Chile, Naftali. You know what I mean? From Panama, from Honduras to Panama, man. You from the tribe of Zebulon. First Nation, you from the tribe of Gad. Seminole tribe of Reuben, man. We God's chosen people, man. The 12 tribes that were scattered abroad. Man, don't be confounded when you see Gentiles, man. You got to understand the context. It could be talking about Israelites. Right. So when you read in Romans 9:24, that's talking about Israelites, man. When you see, right, Gentiles, man, that Christ was speaking about in Matthew the 10th chapter, let's talk about them heathens, man. As the Lord said, that our King Yahushua said, don't go unto. Let me get what I call for. I think I called for Acts 2:5.
You got a question?
Go ahead.
It says, Billy knows it all. It says, Salaki, sir, what are the precepts about leaving America spiritually, and how do we prove to someone that it's a spiritual exodus and not a physical?
That's an excellent question, brother. Let me get Revelation 18 and verse 4. That's an excellent question. Let me get Revelations 18 and verse 4. This is actually my favorite scripture. I go into it every camp. Because what we have to understand, right? I'm glad, and this brother gets it. And that's what I appreciate, man. And this brother been tuning in, man. He understands that we don't got to get on a boat and go to Africa, Barzo. That I don't got to get on a plane and go to Egypt. Or go to where is it? Dimona, Israel. You don't got to go to the outskirts, you know what I mean, and live, you know what I mean, off the scratch. You don't got to do that. It's to take your mind out of America. To take yourself spiritually out of America. And let me prove it to you. Let me show you in the Bible, man. This is what I would go to. Give me Revelation 18 and verse 4.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven say,
now, this is the disciple John, man. John was put in prison, man. And he was put in prison, man, for teaching about Christ, man. Teaching, you know what I mean, the word of God. He said, I heard another voice from heaven saying, read,
come out of her, my people.
Come out of her, my people. What is the come out of her? Who is the her? The her is Babylon, man. That's the her. America is spiritually Egypt and Sodom, man. It's Babylon, the great whore. The Lord is saying, come out of her. Come out of America. And you know how you come out of America, brother? You come out of America by not celebrating Christmas. You come out of her by not celebrating your birthday, by not celebrating Thanksgiving, by not celebrating New Year's, by not getting your rib or your mama Valentine's Day card or rose, man. That's how you come out of her. And it's going to explain further. Read on.
Say, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
That ye be not partakers of her sins. Meaning you don't want to partake in the sins of America. You don't want to be a homosexual. You don't want to be, you know what I mean, a whore or a whoremonger. That's what the Lord is saying, man. Come out of her, my people. Take your mind out of America, man. Take your spirit out of this place, man. And it starts by coming to class. It starts by tuning in online and coming to class physically, man, and not celebrating these evil, wicked holidays. Don't be partakers of her sins. Don't abort your babies. Don't murder your brother, man. Don't be an evil, wicked monster and hate your brother and your sister. Read on.
Come. And that ye receive not of her plagues.
And ye receive not of her plagues. What are her plagues? What's one of her plagues? I'm going to go to it a little later. I might as well touch on it a little bit now. The coronavirus, which got evolved into the Delta. which digivolved, you know what I mean, the Pokemon evolution into the Omicron. Goddamn, Barzal, the names they find. I thought Omicron was a goddamn Decepticon, Barzal. I thought that was a transformer. Goes to show you, man, our God ain't nothing to play with. Now the Omicron variant is out, and they saying, man, it's more deadly. This could get bad. I'm gonna go into an article before the end of class, man. But I hope that answers your question, brother. If you receive not of her plagues, man, don't be partakers of her sins. Come out of America, man, mentally and spiritually. You don't got to get on a plane. You don't got to get on a boat. All you got to do is come into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. I pray you understand. But back on my topic. Let me get Acts 2 and 5. Now let me show you, you know what I mean, that further prove that Israelites came, you know what I mean, that we were scattered throughout all nations, man. Read what you got. Yeah,
The book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews.
And there dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, man. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man. Read on.
Devout men.
Devout men. Men that kept the law, statutes, and commandments, man. I was down with the Most High. Read on.
Out of every nation.
Read that again. Out of what?
Out of every nation.
Out of every nation. How can Jews come out of every nation? How can that be? I'll tell you how it can be. Jews can come out of every nation because we were scattered abroad, man. We are the dispersed. We dispersed among the Gentiles, man. Jews out of every nation, man, under heaven. Now, for my last precept on that topic, let me get Acts 21 and verse 20. Start at Acts 21 and start at the Start at Acts 21 and 20. Let me get that. To further prove, man, you know what I mean, the Gentiles that's being talked about in Romans 9 and 24 and John 7 and 35, that those are Israelites, man. That we were scattered amongst all people. And we were considered Gentiles, even though we're the Israelites of antiquity, man. Start with Acts 21 and verse 20, and you're going to read down to 21.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 21 and verse 20. And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brother.
Thou seest, brother. Meaning, who is it talking about? It's talking about Israelites, man. Thou seest, brother. Read on.
How many thousands of Jews there are.
Now, how many thousands of Jews, man, Israelites, man. Read on.
Which believe.
Which believe, man. Which believe on the Most High Christ, man. Read on.
And they are zealous of the law.
Zealous of the law, man. Zealous about the law, statutes, and commandments, man. They ain't celebrating Christmas. They ain't celebrating Saturnalia, celebrating Nimrod and Babylon. Read on.
And they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews.
Then thou art informed of thee that teachest all the Jews, read on,
which are among the Gentiles.
Which the Jews that are what?
Among the Gentiles.
Which are among the Gentiles, man. The Jews are what?
Among the Gentiles.
Meaning we are among the Gentiles. Don't mean that we're actual Gentiles. They considered us to be Gentiles, but we are among the Gentiles, man. That's why when we read in John 7 and verse 35, man, it said, you know what I mean, if he's to disperse among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles, that's talking about Israelites, man. That's what it's talking about. It's not talking about heathens. This is talking about God's chosen people, man, because we are dispersed among the Gentiles, man. Now, if I could, right, let me drop that, man. Let me get into my article real quick before I put the class. I sent you an article, Barzal, about the Omicron. Brother had a good question, just now, a couple of minutes ago, about how, some precepts on how we can come out of America spiritually. Now, I read in Revelations 18 and verse 4, man, that now is the time, to come out of her, my people, meaning to take our minds out of America, to be spiritually taken away from America, man, not celebrating their holidays and their feast days and what they got going on. The Lord said, and be not partakers of her sins and receive not of her plagues, man. What is those plagues? The Omicron, man. We're going to read about that. I'm going to show you that the Omicron, the COVID, you know what I mean, was prophesied about. Read that article for me.
The World Health Organization on Wednesday said the highly mutated Omicron variant of COVID-19 could change the course of the pandemic.
Could change the course of the pandemic. They thought that they was free, Barzal. They thought that they was good, man. Which goes to show you this, black man, Latino man, and woman. Our God ain't nothing to play with, man. Our God done mutated the COVID into the Delta. Now it's the Omicron, man. It been transformed into a real Decepticon, man. You thought you was just going to throw your mask off and go be free, huh? The Lord is still dealing with this place, man. Let's read a little bit more of the article.
Certain features of Omicron, including its global spread and large number of mutations, suggest it could have a major impact on the course of the pandemic.
It could have a major impact of the course of the pandemic, meaning you thought things was going to get better, didn't you? You thought things was going to improve, man. Things ain't improving. Things are getting progressively worse. They're getting ready to shut it down again, Barzo. You thought you were just going to be living free, white, and 21. I know what you're thinking. But what if I can show you in the Bible that this was prophesied about? You thought, you know what I mean, that our God was done with you. I remember what Cuomo said. I remember when Governor Cuomo was like, well, God didn't bring down the cases of the coronavirus. We did. How arrogant of that devil. And the Lord, you know what I mean, showed his shame, showed him to be, proved that he was a sexual deviant, man. Aired his laundry out there for everybody on the earth to know, man. He just got done firing his brother, you know what I mean, Chris Cuomo on CNN. You know what I mean? Because he took it the side of his brother and tried to help him, man. Goes to show you, man, our Lord said that he would not meet you as a man in Revelation 47 in verse 3. But let me show you according to God, man, that these curses were prophesied about, man, and not just any curse, like sickness and disease and the plague, man. Read what you got. Barzal, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 61. Because guess what, man? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 61. Also, every sickness and every
plague, read on.
Which is not written in the book of this law.
Which is not written in the book of this law. COVID wasn't written. Delta variant wasn't written. Omicron for sure wasn't written. But it said every sickness, every plague, which is not written in the book of this law. Read on.
Then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Until thou be destroyed. You want to know why? You know what I mean? The coronavirus was really doing its thing, man, getting the heathen, man, getting the oppressor and the Asians and the Africans. You want to know why we have the highest number of deaths in the COVID right now? Why our First Nation brothers and sisters suffer the most? Why our Latino brothers and sisters and black brothers and sisters are going through it? Because we disobeyed our God, man. We know what the Lord said not to do, celebrating Christmas, celebrating Thanksgiving. That's why we got the highest number of these deaths, man. I never forget that poor sister, man, that was blaming Mayor de Blasio in New York because, you know, her husband died of COVID and she had to sit with his corpse for like a week, man. And sister should have called Captain Tazariak. We'd have got that brother's body up out of there, man. Goes to show you, man, we put our faith in the wrong people, man. When our faith should go back into our God, and God established the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. The Lord brought his prophets back in 1969, man. These plagues are here to stay. There's more to come, man. These things are not going to get better. It's going to get progressively worse, man. And Christ prophesied about this too, to give you a little bit more history. Let me get Matthew 24, verse 7. Matthew, the 24th chapter, in the 7th verse, man.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7.
Start at verse 6.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of war.
Shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, man. China getting ready to go to war right now. So is Russia and so is America. Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, we're getting ready for World War III, man. Read on.
See that ye be not troubled.
Don't be troubled, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Christ is saying don't be troubled because these things must happen. They have to come to pass. Read on.
For all these things must come to pass.
Mm-hmm.
But the end is not yet.
End is not yet, but we almost up out of here, Latino man and woman, First Nation man and woman, black man and woman. Read on.
For nation shall rise against nation.
Nation shall rise against nation, meaning these different nations are going to rise up against each other. Russia is going to rise up against America. China is rising up against America right now, man. Read on.
Oh God. And kingdom against kingdom.
Governments against governments, man. Read on.
And there shall be famines.
And there shall be famine, food shortages, man. You can see that, man. It's a shortage of chicken right now, Barzo. It's a shortage of all different types of food, man. These truck drivers are getting ready to go on strike, man. There'll be different famines, read on.
And pestilences.
And what is pestilences, man? Disease, plague, COVID-19, the Delta variant, Omicron, and pestilence. This is Christ speaking, man. This is prophesied thousands of years ago. Read on.
And earthquakes in diverse places.
In diverse places, man. These things was prophesied about and they have to come to pass. But this is what we have to do as God's chosen people. This is what we must understand as the Lord's chosen people, what we must do. We must do this. If I could, let me get Zephaniah 2 and 1. I'm going to click the class, man. Let me get Zephaniah chapter 2 and start at verse 1. As the Lord's chosen people, this is essential for all First Nation men and women, Seminole men and women, Latino men and women, and black men and women. Read on.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire. Man. We are the people that are not desired, man. Nobody desires blacks and Latinos. Africans don't desire us. The Arabs don't desire us. The oppressor doesn't desire us. The Filipinos and the Hawaiians and the Tongans don't desire us. But you know who does desire blacks and Latinos and Native American Indians? Commander General Yohana, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. Desires all blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. Our God, Yahweh, desires us. Our King, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. We do the Lord such a disservice, man, by not doing what the Lord said to do. And what we got to understand, man, is important. Because this is what our God, I got to get one more scripture for us all. Salah. I got to get one more, man. Let me get the book of 1 Peter, right? Let me get 1 Peter. Bobbity. Let me get 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 17.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 17.
This is what we got to do, black man, Latino man, and woman. Read on.
Honor all men.
Honor all men, man. Give honor unto all men. Give honor. Be respectable. You know what I mean? To your brother and your sister, man. That's the problem, man. We don't know how to do that. We don't know how to be respectful to one another. And not just to our people, man. Show the heathen, man, that we are better than them. I'm not saying go and be friends with Bill, Bob, and Fred. Hell no, man. But give honor to all, man. Be respectable. Be commendable, man. Read on.
Love the brotherhood.
Love the brotherhood, man. Love your brothers, man. Love your sisters, man. You got to love that fellow black man and woman, that fellow Latino man and woman, that fellow First Nation man and woman, man. We got to love this brotherhood, man. I love this brotherhood in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man. You're not going to find brotherhood, you know what I mean, in the world, man. Not no real brotherhood. I'm not saying there ain't good brothers and sisters out here that's in the world, man. But you ain't going to find real brotherhood. The real brotherhood, man, is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is where real brotherhood is going to dwell and is, man. These are brothers and sisters that's not going to leave you, that's not going to depart from you, man, that'll give you their last, that'll die for you, man. That's why the Lord is saying, honor all men, love the brotherhood, man. You got to love this brotherhood. You can't love the brotherhood in the Isupk, it ain't for you. It's a Christian church next door. It's a Muslim mosque across the street. I pray you understand. But you're going to love this brotherhood, man. Read on.
Fear God.
Fear God. The problem is we fear the oppressor. We fear Bill, Bob, Fred. We fear these heathens, man. We need to fear God, man. We need to fear the Most High, the same God that destroyed Egypt, Babylon, the Persian and the Medes, man, and Greece and Rome. He's going to destroy America as well, man. Fear God. Read on.
Honor the king.
Honor the king. Give honor unto our king, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. That is due the honor, man. Give honor to our king. Our king died so we can come back into this truth. Not that we can continue to celebrate Christmas. Not that we can continue to hate our brothers and our sisters and be whores and whoremongers and evil bastards and murderers, man. Our king ain't died for that. Our king died so we can come back to this truth, man. I pray you understand. Honor all, man. Love the brotherhood. Fear God. Honor the king. That's what we have to do, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, and we gonna get ahead. I pray you understand. With that being said, this is the Thursday night history class. I'm priest and officer Yediah. You know what I mean? Make sure you pay your tithes, man. Pay your tithes, man. Commander General needs these tithes, man. We feed God's chosen people with the tithes, man, with this money, man. It goes back to that Mexican man and woman at the border. It goes back to our Haitian brothers and sisters in Haiti, in the Del Rio and Acuna, Mexico, man. We're the only ones that give a damn about our people. Your pastor does not. Tune in to Black Watch every Monday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Commander Junior Yohana drops it heavy every Monday, man. Tune in to Commander Junior Yohana every Monday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Tune in, you know what I mean, to Ask You the Prophets on Wednesday, man, with 12 Chill General Mayaka Allah, man, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Send your questions in to Ask You the Prophets every Wednesday. Hell, on Monday mornings, man, tune in to Let a Hebrew Speak with 12 Chill General Hazayan or 6 Chill General Kathum Gabal, man. Sometimes my brother, priest and officer Marah, and officer Yadat, and officer Ibahaya hold it down, man. Officer Marad Ibar do a hell of a job, man, with General Kathum and General Hazayan. Tune in to Let a Hebrew Speak. Tune in Across the Line Radio tonight, man, at 10 a.m. at headquarters, New York, man. Captain Zazaria, Captain Katazar. Tune in to One West Radio with Captain Gadal Hall, man, out there in Cali, man, the West Coast holding it down. And with that being said, I'm going to pass the class off to Priest and Officer 1,000 bars on the cup.
Officer, you got one more.